Hi guys, and welcome back again to Queenette at the VODCAST. My name is Queenette at the and today we are going to be talking about mistakes we parents make. But before we dive into that, if you've not subscribed to my channel, what are you waiting for? All you have to do is just press on that subscription button below and the notification bell so you can always get notified anytime I post a video. Before I chose to talk about this thing, I actually sat down and I said to myself, what are those things our parents have done to us, or the things our parents are still doing that has actually affected us in a lot of ways, maybe in our day-to-day lifestyle, in our decision making, or that has shaped us to be who we are today. And some of those mistakes, even we still do those things to our children. So guys, number one, I don't want to talk too much. I want this video to be short and brief as possible. So number one is parent thinks that they know best, because we feel we've had more experience than our children. So most times we tend to dismiss our children's opinion because we feel we know more than them. We feel we know best. We feel we are talking from experience, forgetting that our experience is totally different from our children's experience. And because we are parents does not mean that we know it all. So we automatically assume that we know it all, not giving our children the opportunity to teach us some certain things or to add their opinion. Some parents will even, dismiss their children's opinion totally because we automatically assume that we know better than them and we are more experienced than them. So as parents, please let us give our children the opportunity to hear their opinion and to teach us some certain things, because we are human beings. It is okay for our children to teach us things, Yeah, we don't know it all. Number two, we parents, we think our children are too young to understand things. Like when things are going on in the family, in as much as I used to say to parents that whenever there's issue in the family, try as much as possible to solve it among yourself, between the mom and the dad, without getting the children involved. Try as much as possible to not have, a quarrel or an argument in the presence of your children, if possible. But at the same time, we need to let the children understand some certain things. We should not assume that they are too young to understand. When there's financial difficulties, even though it is not their responsibility as the children to solve the financial problem in the household, I still feel it is best for us to let them understand that at this moment, mom and dad is going through some financial difficulties. So some things are going to be cut down in the household, or maybe some things are going to change because mom and dad are trying to economize the finances, the budgets that we have, because there's a little bit of challenges going on in the household. So I feel it is always best for us to carry our children along in some certain things. It doesn't mean that we have to expose them to all adult issues, but let us not assume that they are too young to understand. Even when it comes to some relationship talks, some conversations that we are meant to discuss with our children, like sex education, teaching our children things like that, explaining to our children about self-love, what they should expect in a relationship, what they should expect from a woman, what they should expect from a man. Like, we should not automatically assume that our children are too young to understand, especially when they're getting to that age. Number three, we parents don't give our children options. We tend to decide for them. Because we believe we are the parents, we know what is best for them. We tend to want to decide everything for them. We decide the food they eat, we decide the clothes they wear, we decide like basically everything that goes on in their life. We want to decide it for them because they are living under our roof. We are paying the bills, we are putting food on the table, forgetting that these little humans, they have feelings as well. They have wants and they have needs. For example, even up to the smallest things of food, like some parents cannot even ask their children, what would you like to eat? They just cook anything. They will not ask like, okay, would you like sandwich, toast, or cereal for breakfast? What would you prefer? They decide basically everything for their children, forgetting that these children also needs to be able to hear their opinion and what they want. I feel that we letting our children to decide on some basic things for themselves is us telling them indirectly that their opinion matters, that their voice matters. Even if we cannot give them that thing they're asking for at that moment, we can explain to them why they cannot have that thing, or why we think the option we are giving them is more better than the one they have or they want to have. So it is always good for us to give them opinions, give them the opportunity to say what they want. That is us teaching them to be confident in themselves. That is us teaching them to be outspoken. So anywhere they go, they'll be able to hear their voice. They will know their voice matters. But you just dismissing their opinion, their thoughts, their feelings, is you teaching them to harbor things within them, to lose their self-esteem, to be closed up and not want to speak up their mind. If we look at it, children that grew up in Africa and children that grew up here in abroad, I would say children that grew up here in abroad are more outspoken than the children that grew up in Africa. Because I remember growing up in Africa, then they will tell you when an adult is talking to you, you have to look down. You don't have to look directly into their eyes. But coming here, I tend to realize that when an adult is talking, or regardless of who is talking, looking at someone's eyes shows a sign of confidence. It is not a disrespect or whatever. You know, sometimes even up to relationships, some parents want to decide. And I've seen a parent that will say, oh, because my child shares everything with me, so I know more, I can decide what's best. Regardless of how close you might be with your child or with your children, trust me, there are some certain things that will happen in their life that they will not want to share with you, or that they would never share with you. And when they are making their decisions, they can be making their decision based on those things. So it is always good for us sometimes to let our children make mistakes and learn from their mistakes. It is always good for us to let them decide. And when they are making that decision, they know that, okay, whatever I get from this decision I'm making, I am responsible for it. That is also a way of us teaching them accountability, taking account for their actions. Number 4 is parents not keeping their children's secrets. A lot of parents are like, we are literally unstable. When our kids tell us something, mommy, please don't tell anybody, we tend to make jest of them with those things, or we even tend to tell our friends or tell their friends, which is very, very wrong. If you can keep your best friend's secret, then I think when our children are confiding in us, we should be able to keep their secret as well, because they see us as their friend, they see us as their confidant. So as a parent, if you're not keeping your child's secret, you are breaking your child's trust. Even if you're going to share that secret with your spouse, maybe with their dad or their mom, you should also let them understand that under no circumstances should you say this thing out. Only if that thing they are sharing with us is going to put them in danger, then yes, you can. And you need to let them know that this thing, I'm going to share it with so people, because your safety matters. But when it's something that is just like a casual thing that has nothing to do with their safety, that's not going to put them in danger, then I think we should be able to keep our children's secret, especially when they tell you, mommy, don't tell anybody. You know how it's going to feel when you share something with your friend and you find out that your friend is telling other people. You're going to lose trust in that person. You're going to be heartbroken. That's how those children also feels. We might think they are little children, but trust me, they have feelings and they have emotions. And number 5 is comparing our children with other people's children. In as much as a lot of African parents are sitting on this thing, it is one of the biggest mistakes we make as parents, comparing our children with other people's children. If you're in a relationship as an adult, I'm very sure majority of us hate being compared with our exes, our man's ex or our woman's ex, or people like look at so person. Yeah, we hate being compared with people. And if you can see, if you can go back and reflect on yourself that how do I feel when my partner or my spouse or my man, my woman is comparing me with someone else? How do I feel? The way you feel is the same way your child or your children will feel when you're comparing them with other people's children. Number 6, not telling our children how much we love them. A lot of African parents, they don't share their feelings and I cannot remember if my father have ever told me he loves me, if he has ever told me he loves me. I know he loves me. Trust me, if I call my dad right now, he's gonna pick up to him. Like, that man loves me like crazy. My mom loves me like big time, mad. Like him, I can't even say how much they love me. However, have I ever heard him say, I love you? No. African parents don't know how to express their love. They don't even know how to tell you, I miss you, I love you. No, they don't. And I think these are the things that we should learn to do more. Express our love, in as much as these children know that we love them, because we know that our parent loves us. But it's always good sometimes to hear it. Let them hear it from us as parents. It's like we giving them reassurance, this word of affirmation, letting them know that we love them so much regardless. Number 7, not rewarding or praising them when they do something good. A lot of we African parents, the only time we scream or we shout on our children is when they did something bad. When they do something bad, we tend not to praise them or reward them for when they do the good things. And you know what that thing is saying is, we are trying to tell them that they are not good enough. That means we are telling them indirectly that they are bad at everything, if we are only focusing on the negative side. But when we focus more on the positive side, praising them when they do something right, especially, it is us teaching them on how to look more on the positive side of other people, especially when they grow up and start having their own relationship or start having their children, rather than dwelling on the negative side of their spouse or their children and things like that. It is always a way of us also showing that we recognize them when they do something good. It is not only when they did something bad that we have to start screaming and start shouting. No. Number 8, saving for their future, making their life easier. One thing I've realized is we Africans, we celebrate struggle a lot, and the thing is there's no reward for who struggles the most. Seriously, I've seen a lot of African parents saying when you give them something on a platter, like if they didn't struggle for something, they will not. Let's see, if you struggle for something, you didn't struggle for something, it does not mean you appreciate that thing or you will not appreciate it. Someone who is not appreciative is not appreciative, and someone who is appreciative will always be appreciative. So let us stop being jealous. I would say a lot of African parents are stylishly jealous of their children, the lifestyle their children are living, or where the country where they give birth to their children. And because of that, they're always like, oh, me, I struggled, and my family, my parent did not do this to me, my parent did not provide this for me, but you are getting it. Like, it is our responsibility to make their life comfortable. If you are able to save for their 10% or 15% or 20% for their mortgage, please do. If you're able to save up for their capital to start up a business, please do. As much as possible as we can make their life easier, let us try as much as possible to make their life easier. And number 9, correcting them with love. Even me, sometimes when I scream at my kids, I'm always like, really? Is my enemy not going to end up with an heart attack? When I will scream, like, I will tell myself, take it easy. Life is not that hard. Like, learn to correct these children with love. And I've realized since the time I've started sitting them down, not scolding them, talking to them like I'm talking to an adult, explaining things to them, even let them choose that, okay, if you do this, what should be the consequences for this action? Should mommy seize your tablet for 1 week? What would you like? Give them options, and they'll pick from the options that, okay, mom, if I do this for me, return or blah blah blah. I realize that they've been listening more. I've come to the realization that sometimes when we correct with love, our children tend to listen more. But when we correct with anger, hardens their heart. And they'll be like, is it no more than screaming? Is it no more than punishment? Is it no more than beating? Is it like, it hardens their heart. So let us try as much as possible to correct our children with love, if we can. I know sometimes they can be frustrating. Sometimes they can do things that will make us feel like, no, I feel like right now. But let us just try as much as possible to calm down, take a deep breath, and correct them with love. And number 10 is, let us be our children's peace. I know a lot of we parents will scream, oh, Fefimi lokan bale, give me peace, give me peace. In as much as we want our children to give us peace, we want them to be our peace, let us also be their peace. Are you the kind of parents that when you come home, your children will have to turn off the TV, have to run to their room, oh, mommy's coming, daddy's coming? It's like a war zone. Like you are coming into war and everyone is running etaskata. Are you like that kind of parent? When last have your children ever called you and said, Daddy, we miss you, when are you coming home? Mommy, we miss you, when are you coming home? A lot of African parents, or a lot of parents, are not giving their children peace, and we expect peace in return. Please, there's always this Bible verse that a lot of us like quoting, especially for we Christians, that the Bible says, respect your mother and father so your days might be. How many parents are actually respecting their children as well? We've also forgotten that the same Bible that says, respect your father and mother so your days will be long on earth. The same Bible also says, parents, do not provoke your children. So which means if you provoke your children to anger, the children might disrespect you. I'm not saying it is right for children to disrespect their parents. It is totally wrong. However, we parents, are we respecting our children? Are we treating them with dignity? Are we protecting their dignity? Love. Are we treating them with love? Are we caring for them? Like, please, if you want your children to be your peace, let us also learn to be our children's peace, and everyone will be at peace. It is not fair for you to be giving your children war, chaos, problem, disrespect, and then expect them to give you peace in return. No. Let us remember that our children are like our seed. Like what you plant in them is what we grow. So when you plant something good, you get something positive in return. But when you plant something negative, you get the negative side in return. So as parents, we are our children's role model. You cannot be doing something else and be preaching something else to those children. Let us always remember that our children's number one role model is us. The way we react, the way we talk, the things we do, everything, our children are watching us. And there's 80% chances that what the children see us do is what they will do, is what they will grow up to be. So you cannot be a saucy parent and expect your child to grow up being polite. Our children are like our reflection, a reflection of us. So if you want your child to grow up to be a responsible, disciplined, respectable adult, then you yourself have to be that thing, because that is what that child will see. Let us remember that the home we grew up most times shaped us to be who we are right now. So as parents, please, it's not just by you telling your child that this thing is wrong. You are telling your child that thing is wrong. And that thing that is wrong is exactly what you are doing as a parent, either as a father or as a mother. And you expect that child to listen. No, that child is not going to listen, because most times they don't listen to what we say, but they watch and follow what we do. And that's going to be all for today, guys. And if you've not subscribed to my channel, please don't forget to do so. All you have to do is just press on that subscription button below and the notification bell so you can always get notified anytime I post a video. Also, please don't forget to share this video with your family and friends. And if you like the content of the video, don't also forget to give us a thumbs up and comments down below whatever you also want us to talk about. And I hope to see you again next week. Bye.